In this video, we're going to be talking about Dyson air purifiers. A good example of a Dyson air purifier is this model we have on the table here today. This is a Dyson Purifier Hot+Cool Formaldehyde. This model features two sets of identical filters, two combination HEPA and carbon filters, and two catalytic filters. Most other Dyson air purifiers also feature combination HEPA and carbon filters, though this formaldehyde model is one of only a handful of models that also adds catalytic filters. In any case, air enters the air purifier through the base here. It travels through the combination filters, then through the catalytic filters, and exits through this small groove around this top hoop here. And this brings us right into the first thing we really like about Dyson air purifiers. They pull and project air very effectively. Purified air traveling through this small opening creates an area of low pressure, which pulls unclean air from behind the hoop and projects it through the hoop. It's important to note that only a small fraction of the projected air is purified air. Air that enters through the bottom, travels through the filters, and exits through the groove around the hoop. The vast majority of the projected air is unclean air that the air purifier pulls from behind the hoop and projects through the hoop because of the area of low pressure generated by the purified air traveling through the groove around the hoop. This design makes Dyson air purifiers excellent fans. They circulate air throughout a room very well. This design does not necessarily make them good air purifiers. I'll talk more about this in just a bit. The second thing we really like about Dyson air purifiers is that they work very well as multi-purpose appliances. As we just discussed, all Dyson air purifiers work very well as fans. Some models, like this model on the table, also work very well as heaters. Other models can also work well as humidifiers. Models starting with the letters TP only work as air purifiers and fans. HP series models work as air purifiers, fans, and heaters. PH series models work as air purifiers, fans, and humidifiers. The third thing we like about Dyson air purifiers is that certain models are uniquely well equipped to filter formaldehyde. The TP09, HP09, and PH04 all come equipped with catalytic filters. These filters continuously trap and convert formaldehyde into water and carbon dioxide. They're also permanent filters that don't need to be replaced at cost. Most air purifiers, including Dyson's, are equipped with carbon filters for general gas filtration. Carbon filters most unwanted gases, that is, most harmful VOCs and odors, very well, but it doesn't filter formaldehyde. So if you're especially concerned about formaldehyde, these Dyson air purifiers are uniquely well equipped to handle that problem for you. The fourth thing we really like about Dyson air purifiers is how easy they are to control. All models come with a physical remote control, and most models also feature app and voice control. Many other air purifiers on the market do not come with a physical remote control, and most cannot be controlled via an app. Finally, we really like the look of these air purifiers. Dyson air purifiers have a very modern aesthetic. They look great in a variety of different settings. The same cannot be said for many other air purifiers we've tested. Moving on to what we don't like about Dyson air purifiers, really the primary issue here, the primary concern when it comes to these air purifiers is their airflow. Earlier, I talked about how they pull and project air very well. The problem is that they mostly pull and project unclean air. The air purifier's actual airflow, the volume of air it's able to process through its filters each minute, that volume is very low. Even the largest, most powerful Dyson air purifiers are only able to process approximately 100 cubic feet of purified air each minute. The TP09 and this HP09, for example, project 77 gallons of air per second. That equates to roughly 600 cubic feet of air per minute. Of that 600 cubic feet of air, only 100 cubic feet is air that's actually pulled through its filters. The other 500 cubic feet is unclean air that it pulls from behind the hoop and through it due to the area of low pressure generated by the cleaned air being pushed through the small groove around the hoop. And so the total volume of air the air purifier projects, air that comprises clean air and unclean air, that volume per minute is high. But the actual airflow of cleaned, processed air exiting the air purifier each minute, that total volume per minute is low. For an air purifier to effectively clean the air in a room, it needs to actually pull the air through its filters. And Dysons have very low airflow through their filters, which makes them much worse air purifiers than their high unpurified airflow and their high price might suggest. At only 100 CFM of purified airflow, we don't recommend these units be used in rooms much larger than 125 square feet. Their low purified airflow and their high price also makes them an especially poor value. Most comparable air purifiers with similar airflow and area of coverage are much cheaper. The Levoit Core 300, for example, has approximately 150 CFM of purified airflow, even more than Dyson's. We recommend it for rooms up to about 200 square feet. It also uses a HEPA filter to capture particles, like Dyson's, and it uses a carbon filter to absorb most gases, like Dyson's. But it regularly retails for about $100. Dyson's start at about $400. Both Dyson's and the Core 300 can effectively clean the air in a smaller room. The difference is that one has several features, not necessarily related to air purification, that makes it much more expensive. The other is solely an air purifier that, outside of filtering formaldehyde, cleans the air just as well, but is much cheaper. Another negative for these Dyson units is the quality of their pre-filters and the order of their filters. The combination filters in these units have a very low quality mesh pre-filter. Because of its proximity to the HEPA filter, vacuuming this type of pre-filter can damage the HEPA filter. Cleaning it in other ways, for example wiping it clean, doesn't clean it as well and generates a lot of airborne dust. Most top-rated air purifiers we recommend have much higher quality pre-filters that are separate filters that can be cleaned much more easily. Dyson air purifiers also don't have their carbon filters positioned in front of their HEPA filters. Most top-rated air purifiers we recommend do have their carbon filter positioned in front of their HEPA filter, which gives the HEPA filter an extra line of defense against larger particles. The bottom line is that between the quality and location of their pre-filters and the order of their HEPA and carbon filters, filter replacement frequency is higher for Dyson air purifiers than it is for most top-rated air purifiers we recommend. When it comes to general recommendations, a Dyson air purifier can be a viable option if you value it as a multi-purpose appliance. If you have limited space and you need a combination air purifier and fan, or a combination air purifier and heater, for example. It can also be a viable option if you specifically have an issue with formaldehyde and you cannot remove the source of the formaldehyde or ventilate, i.e. open windows to bring in fresh air and ventilate out bad air. You may also want to consider buying a Dyson air purifier if app and voice control is important to you, or if you just really like its aesthetics. However, if you don't care for these things, if you don't value these things, we generally do not recommend Dyson air purifiers because of their very low purified airflow. Because of their low airflow, Dyson air purifiers are not effective air cleaners in large or even medium-sized rooms according to our testing. And for smaller rooms, there are much better value options on the market that, outside of capturing formaldehyde, clean the air just as well as Dyson air purifiers at a much lower price. See the description of this video for the latest updated list of all of the air purifiers we recommend, and thank you for watching.